you all look the same. Whether you want to admit it or not, all have no original ideas. Hello my angels, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Chelsea, and in today's video we're going to be talking about why fashion is stuck in the past. Psychologically, people find comfort in familiarity, and especially during uncertain times like these, one would argue that the fashion industry capitalizes on this emotional safety called nostalgia. And especially now, more than ever, people are so confused. A lot of stuff is happening in our society, and the only one thing that remains constant is fashion. And even financially, there's not a lot of risks fashion makers or designers take due to these difficulties. And as a society, we want to feel a part of a community. We want to feel like we're one, where we're united, and fashion has somehow become the medium to do so. And in today's video, we're going to be getting into the exact reasons why every single one looks the same and why literally originality is dead. First thing we're going to look into is the nostalgia cycle and this cultural memory. Every 20 to 30 years, trends from the past reappear. It's known as the 20-year nostalgia cycle. Psychologically, people always go back to the things that they find more familiar, more comforting, and in times that were better than now. However, one would argue that maybe the past is not the best place to take inspiration from, seeing as the times were worse, not better than now. But somehow we romanticize the past. We wear these rose-colored glasses and we don't look at all the difficulties faced in the past. In fact, we kind of glaze over it. Like during the pandemic, it's all sort of a fever dream now, and we're going back to look at those hardships, those times of revolution as inspiration to what we wear. So we're seeing like the Y2K revival, low-rise jeans, metallics, and like Gen Zs. We started romanticizing the 2000s, and it's an era that we literally have never lived through, but we see as a much simpler time, and therefore we want to partake, we want to be part of that community. And that kind of memory and emotion is kind of like neurologically intertwined, and like nostalgia literally releases dopamine. So when you see the fact that everyone is thrifting, all the girlies want to wear 2K, they want to fit into these certain aesthetics and keep it separated, and that keep it separate from each other, like cottagecore, Y2K, and office siren, and all of these kind of taglines make for a community, and that's how we kind of find ourselves as a people. And I find it quite interesting in that sense, because creating a pleasurable attachment to these aesthetics is quite literally why people have decided to detach these aesthetics and now kind of looking forward to finding their personal style or digging through what they like. And I find it so interesting that we quite literally cannot control this, because culturally we've kind of moved on from the past idea that new means fresh, innovative, and automatically means better. And we've kind of embraced and celebrated remixing instead of creativity. People now look to references and reinterpretation. For example, Dior, the big fashion house, the creative director now is Jonathan Anderson, and he literally, the first thing he did was, I'm going to take back the Dior original logo back to what it was, back to its former glory, because then it was good, now it's not. And it's kind of the same idea that the past was better. Instead of looking at growth like this, we're looking at growth more like that. And it's kind of interesting to see to begin with. And it's not only that these creative directors want to do this, it's that first of all, they physically can't, because one, the fashion industry is broke. No one is funding the luxury fashion as much as they used to fund it before. We're quite in a recessive time, and everybody lacks funds. So even taking risks like making clothes that are quite out there and otherworldly clothes. Luxury fashion tends to celebrate things that are quite the opposite of what a normal person would wear day to day. Creative directors are not taking that route anymore because it's risky. They're not sure it would sell. That's why people are going back to their old trademarks like the Burberry tartan, the Burberry prints. They're going back to their former glory because they know that's what works and they rely on that. And I find that the creative directors who don't take this path are quite met with a lot of criticism and a lot of bad feedback that they don't know what they're doing. They don't deserve to be at somewhere. They don't deserve to be at Dior. They don't deserve to be at Celine. They're taking away the essence of the company or the brand. And it's just like, you guys hired this person to do something new, and I'm not quite understanding why it's referencing the past. And I feel like we've seen so many of the looks that we're seeing right now, and 30 to 50 years down the line, what are people gonna say about our fashion, like the fashion influence of this era? Nothing. They'll just be like, oh yeah, they loved the 90s Y2K and everything. They just liked kind of everything. And that's kind of sad to me, because fashion, it's a way of remembering things. I remember when I wore a red long coat when I was like 7 years old, and I know that time red was in. Red was the trend. Red and metallics was really in the 2000s and 10s. Like 2010s was really the era for metallics, ballet flats, and those sneaker heels. And I just remember it so vividly, and I remember it because I wore it. I kind of lived through that era of fashion, and it's quite interesting that we're not going to have that. We're just gonna have a bit of everything, and it's quite sad. This artistic philosophy kind of blurs the line between homage and imitation, because leading to fashion that constantly look backwards instead of forwards, it's like, is this imitation or is this just an homage to the previous glory of what the brand was? Is it that you want to pay homage, or you just don't know what to do with the brand? You've ran out of ideas, and I don't know which it is, but I'm not here for it, to be honest. I'm not here for it. I want something new. I want something fresh, and it's quite sickening to see that the fact that we all have no original ideas. You all look the same. Whether you want to admit it or not, you all look the same. You're all wearing the same things, and you want to find your personal style because that's also a trend. Finding your personal style is also a trend, and that's what you're doing it. It's not that you want to find your personal style or anything. It's just you're out to look for these things because other people are looking for it. And it's like this herd culture because we don't have community, and we keep wanting to find community within these trends. And people would say that trends come due to like the phone, the internet, or whatever. But even in the past, trends always existed. We can see this in history. For example, Alexandra of Denmark, who later became the Princess of Wales and then the Queen Consort of England. Well, she was said to be the Princess Diana of her time. Like, she was the it girl. People wanted to follow everything Miss Ma'am did, wore, and said. Alexandra literally popularized so many things, like smoking. She popularized the matching sets, the tailored long-sleeved turtlenecks, the chokers, and young, beautiful women walked up to her so much so that they watched so closely to everything she did so they could copy the look too. And when Alexandra was left with like a permanent limp following her pregnancy, it was literally a battle with like fever, like a type of fever that she battled with after her pregnancy left her limp. And the public was so mesmerized to the point that carrying walking sticks became a trend. Girlies started faking their limps because they wanted to look like Alexandra. And that's just proof that it's not just because of the internet or the trends or whatever. We literally seek community. We want to look the same. We put other people on a pedestal and look up to them all the time. It's always been that way. And it's not just because the internet does so. You could be on the train and you could see someone that you like, someone in your life, your mom. Someone who has influence on you automatically influences how you dress and how you carry yourself. So much so, girlies in the 1800s were faking a limp. Like, it's that serious. Like, trends are not just they come and go. It's cultural. We need to also say that globalization and the algorithms' feedback to what you wear has indeed played a part in popularizing many trends at the same time, because every single person's feed is different, and social media algorithms always reward what's familiar, creating like a digital echo chamber of recycled styles, kind of. And the mere exposure affects like the psychology that humans are attracted to things that they've already seen. So once you see a girl wear something, you like it, and you see another girl wearing something, you're like, oh my god, so that means every girl is wearing this, therefore I should also wear that. As a result, algorithms do push for this like image that guarantees success. Like, this is a guaranteed success. If you buy this skirt, you would look cute, because not only are you seeing one girl, you're seeing 5 girls on your feed all at the same time slaying that skirt or dress, and it makes you feel like this is a guaranteed win, when that might not be the case. You don't consider your figure, you don't consider your look, you don't consider your lifestyle, you don't consider your job. It's just the fact that this seems like it might work for me, and that's why you want to partake in it. When we try to look for more innovative looks, and when things feel too different, and those things also tend to perform well online, and it's so filtered out by the algorithm that even those things that are quite out there start to become normalized. The next point is about the economic and environmental pressures that we face. In a time like now, more than ever, people are so conscious about what type of clothes they buy, where they buy it, and how they buy it. And even the ethnic part of the fashion is important in our day and life because of the environmental effects that come with it. And innovation in fashion is risky, expensive, scary, and while reviving all these designs is financially safe, the economical part of it is solved, and the environmental pressures are less, because now you know that this is a guaranteed success. People would in fact feed into this and would in fact buy this, therefore we probably make more money off of this. Adding on to that, sustainability pressures that encourage like reusing old materials, reusing old ideas, turning and recycling and making into new. It turns into like both an environmental thing and an aesthetic thing. And we're so dedicated to changing our environment that we want to recreate, we keep recycling, and that's what's making us also look back at the past for inspiration, because we are so conscious about what we're wearing. And I actually like that. I think this is actually a good thing that comes with recycling and taking the past as inspiration, because you want to recreate, want to rework things into things that you could wear now without having to have all the sustainability issues and destroying our planet. Last point is the crisis of a cultural identity. And past each era, like I said, we all had like a distinct fashion identity, and it was tied to shared values like rebellion in the 70s, glamour in the 80s, and today's culture lacks that collective clarity kind of thing. We're all sort of on a different space. We're in a sort of a different space and a different mindset that we all don't kind of collectively agree that this is what we all like. We want to make small mini communities instead. And it's a hyper globalized and digital world where the identity is fragmented and we're exposed to a lot of things at the same time at once. Without like a strong cultural movement, we don't have something big or meaningful or revolutionary to push forward certain fashion trends. We're so open to you do you. I love that for you. And that's kind of the culture now, which is not a bad thing necessarily, but it affects the cultural identity of an era. The fixation that the past represents something deeper, and this generation is just unsure about what defines it, and borrowing the confidence of other eras and that we knew exactly who they were is what we're gonna do until we find something that unites us to make something big and beautiful. And that's all I have to say for this video. I hope this video inspired you to to question yourself, to think more of fashion as less than clothes and more of like a representation of who you are. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching till the end. If you watched till the end, comment this little pink bow. I love you so much. Mwah. Bye, my angels.